Previously on Jenny's Singapore adventures.
We crashed a wedding. Money! It's a high-risk house.
It wasn't always like this. Welcome to a weekend in my life, the unfiltered, lonely as version in Singapore. In an attempt to make myself feel better, I have officially rebranded my Saturdays alone to be self-care Saturdays, because it makes me feel slightly less pathetic since I'm the one choosing to be alone. Let's do a quick pause on my emotional roller coaster so we can actually appreciate this Peranakan goodness. Anyway, so I was saying, it's been about 2 months since I moved to Singapore, and I really didn't know anybody. And now I'm thinking about going back to the US earlier than anticipated because I feel like I keep missing out when I see my friends doing things together, coupled with the fact that I find it so mentally draining to text. Especially to text when the person I'm texting is on the other side of the world. I mean, look at me, I am literally eating alone. After lunch, I walked over to a nearby cafe still in Dempsey Hill. Unfortunately, I didn't get any videos of the interior or how beautiful the outside was. Hopefully these Instagram stories will do. I read the newspaper, a few books, and journaled my life away. Then I went back to the hotel to do self-care Saturday at the spa. The biggest thing is I feel like I have no community here. I'm not sure exactly why, but it's also been really difficult to organically meet people because I have no foundation. I'm based out of San Francisco, and when I began to go to New York more often for work, it was easier to build my New York community because I could always tag along as a +1 with my existing friends. I did a quick call with my mentor earlier this week about this loneliness, and he basically said it's super tough in the beginning for anybody, especially if they move abroad without knowing anybody. Eventually I'm supposed to find my people and I'll find a cafe I love, aka the exact polar opposite of how I feel now.
So I'm struggling to open this coconut.
I couldn't get it to open. Look at this dinner I had. I was alone, obviously, but it was really good. It's a restaurant called Minjiang and they have this Chinese cuisine. I can't share my food with a bunch of other people, and so my ability to try things quite limited.
I can eat the little pumpkin, right?
Yes.
Am I supposed to eat the pumpkin though?
If you can just try it because some people they don't eat, but actually you can eat it. Pancake, but it's sweet.
Pumpkin on a pumpkin. And this tastes like really good, just typical Asian fried rice. Good morning! We are starting the day at the salon getting our nails done. Okay, so let me share some more thoughts as we go about our day together today. Think happiness can purely come from material things? Let it be known, I 1000% believe it does not. Obviously, assuming you're not under any financial stress and you can afford to house yourself, clothe yourself, and give yourself the experiences you want. I have the privilege of living out of a 5-star hotel with freaking butlers. I eat amazing food on the daily. I mean, look at this breakfast spread. I really do appreciate the finer things in life, but I would trade this any day for some really good friends and finally feeling like I belong. I'm just walking around MBS shopping now, and for the life of me, cannot figure out what I want to do this afternoon. Isn't this so cute? I always end up getting the same types of purses, which are little small black bags. I haven't really found anything that I liked, and I think a part of that is because, hi, I feel like I'm trying to find sharp boss lady type vibes. So let's see if I can find something here. Does anyone crack the code of not getting like the dark little areas right below your mascara? Thank you. I've been eyeing this bracelet for some time. I was emotionally prepared to buy the mother of pearl version of the bracelet that I just showed you, but they are out of stock. So I have put in a request to have them ping me when it's back available, and so we'll see if I can get it before I leave Singapore. Turns out a lot of people feel lonely, especially after COVID started though. I was doing some digging and there's a Harvard article that focuses on some key learnings from a survey they ran around loneliness. So more than 1/3 of people reported serious loneliness, aka they feel it frequently or almost all the time. This number is even higher for young people, those who are between the ages of 18 and 25, where 2/3 of them feel lonely. What's even crazier is that 43% of young adults reported increases in loneliness since the outbreak of the pandemic. Research shows that loneliness is actually detrimental to your physical and mental health. Mental makes sense, but actually to your physical. There's evidence that people with feelings of loneliness are more likely to have health problems, though we can't really measure it, which makes sense. There are a ton of headlines around isolation and loneliness is as bad as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. I don't know if I buy that, but clearly loneliness sucks. These are diffusers.
Do the different flowers mean different things? That's for the elephant god. What about those flowers? Eggplant. 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 Look at the baby clothes. This kind of looks like a Korean hanbok.
After being Dora all day and exploring all the neighborhoods, we are going on a first date with the boy. The guy spent most of the date on his phone because a ceiling in his building broke or something. So we can call this a half solo dinner. I honestly went on a dating spree when I got to Singapore because why not? So I may or may not have gone on about 20 or more first dates. Okay, but only 3 second dates. And the biggest difference I've noticed when dating in Singapore versus the US is that men flex way more, in my experience at least. But I was too ignorant to get it when I first got here. For example, they'd say, "Oh, look, I have cars." And I would not be very impressed. But turns out cars in Singapore are about 5 times more expensive to own because not only are the cars more expensive, but you have to get a pricey certificate to even own a car. Another time, some guy was really proud of having a movie theater in his home. And probably, much to his dismay, I just said, "Wow, very cool," and pivoted the topic to something totally different. Another difference that I've noticed is that guys here tend to be more chivalrous, whether that's letting me get off the elevator first or always opening the door for me. Okay, back to the core topic of being lonely though. Little did I know that very, very soon things would change. I'm not even joking. In less than a week, things started to fall into place. A few days after I filmed this vlog, a colleague introduced me to someone she knew who was also staying at the St. Regis, and we instantly clicked. I mean instant. Meet Joven.
Good morning!
It's Sunday morning now. I woke up at like 9:30 and went knocking on his door, very excited to grab breakfast together, but I forgot to tell him that we're grabbing breakfast together.
I was in my pajamas. Fun morning!
Remember the acquaintance I told you about? She and I got closer because she was back after a ton of weekend travel, and then she began introducing me to people as well. One of them was Ginny, who is not only my name twin, but a soul twin. One of those rare friendships where you feel immediately connected and understood.
Wow, it just
worked out.
Yeah, dude, I have a plan. Just get Jenny drunk every weekend, and then take her out for brunch every weekend, and then she'll stay for even longer. That's the plan.
My Bumble BFF grind paid off, and I met Megan and Jin Ying. Can't forget Wei, Doug, and Alyssa too. And there you have it, my little Singapore crew. For anybody out there that is hesitant to move away and start anew, or hasn't liked, commented, and subscribed, you should do it. And if you did this and you're feeling the loneliness now, just stick it out a little bit longer and keep putting yourself out there, because I promise it gets better. In fact, you may not even want to leave. Let's save that for my next vlog.